The Salvation Army is in need of your donations.
Hi, my name is David, born and raised in North Minneapolis. I was good in school, sports. Coach told my parents I was gonna make millions of dollars playing football, fishing, hunting. My mom had left my biological father when I was 2 after he had came home in a drunken rage. Long story short, it was things like that I kept bottled up. Now, I remember when I was 13 years old, came across a friend and he had a joint. It felt like something just melted away. Pain, I was able to laugh. And then when I was about 16 years old is when I really dove into weed use. My grades started dropping. I dropped out of football. When I was 17, I went to the juvenile detention center, drank my first 12-pack with my dad. I got into several fights. I was able to run the streets. By the grace of God, I graduated high school by the skin of my teeth. I had gotten into an altercation at home and my parents decided that the best thing to do was to send me to jail for a couple days. And then shortly after that, I was getting arrested every few months. I got a phone call that my biological dad had passed away. When that happened, there was a lot of unanswered and unresolved things that, needless to say, I wasn't going to get any closure on. I started to sabotage relationships. I started to get violent. I was like totally alone and it was raining. And I remember I had a shotgun and I had a liter of vodka. And I was so desperate to pull the trigger, but I just couldn't do it. And I was negotiating with God and I said, God, if you can do anything, I need you to do it now. The next day I had gotten a phone call. An uncle of mine who was a counselor in the program, and he said, if you want to make a change, I got the answer for you. I was brought to the doors of the Salvation Army Adult Rehabilitation Center. I just wanted to go find the nearest, darkest corner and just hide. I remember the love that I encountered. I remember the guys in the program just coming up to me with no agenda, but just wanting to extend themselves out to me and get to know me. Even the staff, they were dealing with the same things that I was. I started to learn a new definition of what it was to be a man. Being the father of 2 children, I have a 17-year-old son. He's seen me in my addiction. And I have a 2-year-old son who never has to. And I have one on the way. The things that God has done in my life is incredible. To think of all the stuff that I sabotaged and I broke and I completely wrecked. My wife served me divorce papers. She didn't want to raise my children in chaos. My wife, bless her heart, reconsidered and we're no longer getting divorced. We're happily married. A baby on the way. I've had the opportunity actually to come back and work at the Salvation Army Adult Rehabilitation Center as the intake coordinator. I don't have to pick up a drink anymore. I can pick up my Bible and I can get on my knees and pray to God about it. It's so cool to be able to hear my son before bedtime telling my wife that he wants to pray with Daddy before he goes to bed. To have the gift to be able to instill that in him, it's by God's grace. If there's any man out there who's struggling and who feels like there's no hope, there is hope. There is hope.
Help us help people like David. Donate today.